For this episode of Cooking with Stev, I've invited a guest along, Suzanne Biro. She's been on before, and she's a great friend of mine and does wonderful things with food. She also writes a blog, which you need to check out, called Food by the Gearhead's Wife. So, Suzanne, what are you cooking for us today?
Well, today we're actually going to cook something that I really like. They're very addictive, and I like to add them to salads. It's called caramelized spiced pecans. So I like to use pecans. You can use other nuts as well, or even a mixture of nuts. Brazil nuts don't seem to hold the sauce very well. They're too oily, but pecans are nice because they have a very sweet counterpoint to the spices that we're going to be adding. So you need about a cup of pecans. The other thing that you want, and this is for the heat in the finished nuts, and this is cayenne powder. You need about 1.5 teaspoons. This is cumin. It has a very nice earthy smell to it and flavor to it that is very good with earth and root vegetables. So you need about 1 tablespoon or 2 of oil to be able to put into the pan. Peanut oil is a very good thing to use. You could use canola oil as well, or sunflower oil here. In the final bowl we have 1/2 cup of sugar. I like to use a spatula that can withstand some heat. Some of them do and some of them don't, so make sure that you are going to be using one that can. If you use a light colored pan like this, you're able to gauge the color of the sugar as it starts to caramelize, and it won't be reflecting the darker color underneath. So I'm going to put this pan over some heat. I like to put it under medium heat. Some people like to do it under high heat, but I like a little bit more control. I like it to be a little bit less quick because this can be quite quick. So add your oil to the pan, and then add about 1/2 cup of sugar. Don't stir this. Use the handle to be able to even that out across the bottom, and then just stick it over the heat. You may want to turn the heat up a little bit. So don't leave the stove when you're doing this. This happens very quickly. It goes from a nice, colorless liquid once the sugar has dissolved, and then all of a sudden you can get black as black burnt sugar. So you want to catch it before it gets to that stage. So you can swirl the pan like this so that you can get the caramelization to even out. There we have a pretty nice caramelization color there. Add in your cayenne pepper powder and your cumin. I like to add in a little bit of salt as well before I add the nuts. Don't give it a stir yet until you add your nuts in, and just throw them all in one go there. Try and get your nuts completely covered. The heat is going to roast those nuts well enough. You don't have to worry about pre-roasting the nuts at all. It's going to make them really quite bring out their nutty flavor. Try and get that well coated all over the place, and you can actually smell the spices. They come up with the heat. It's fantastic. Now I'm going to take that off the heat and put it directly onto my waiting pan. Scrape that out with your spatula. Then you just want to flatten that out as best you can. They're going to stick together a little bit. And they're screaming hot at the moment, so do not touch them. And let those sit until they fully cool. They take a little while to cool, so make sure that you let them cool completely before you try one. And these ones will be a little bit spicy. I put a bit of extra cayenne in these ones. Do you want to try that, Steph?
Oh yeah, I sure do. Let's try this one guy here. Wow.
Spicy?
It hasn't kicked in yet, but I know it's going to. There it comes. Oh yeah. No, they're delicious.